The thing about cancel culture and stuff is like you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to share your opinion with others to a certain degree. To say like try to open other people's minds to shit. With cancel culture, it comes to a point where you're forcing your opinion on other people, and if they disagree or if they don't agree with your opinion, or if maybe you agree but you don't support them, or you're not sharing their opinion with others, and you're not spreading the news about this opinion, if you're not doing everything with the fiber of your existence to support this person's opinion, you're racist, or you're homophobic, or you're misogynist, like all this shit. Like, what if I just don't give a fuck? And I'm not saying I don't give a fuck each time. There are definitely certain things that I think should be changed, like the racial depictions in the Dr. Seuss books. Sure, that's fucked up. I don't think those books should be sold, and that's the end of it. You don't need to talk about them anymore. The books are gone. His books that have nothing wrong with him are still there. You don't need to. He's dead. He's a dead person. You don't need to reach any further lengths. So we have an interesting controversy, not about us this time, but about Eminem. Apparently, the Gen Z left is canceling him once again, or at least the far left. You know what he's being canceled for? It's funny because he has. Okay, this is the funny part. He's getting canceled for this. Okay, you know the song "Love the Way You Lie" by him? With him and Ghana.
Oh, yeah.
He's getting canceled for that song.
Why?
In comparison to some songs I've heard from him, that is like the cleanest fucking song I've ever heard. He made a song. Okay, so all these people are worried about this one line in "Love the Way You Lie" where he says that I'm gonna tie her to the bed and light the house on fire. Right? Obviously, he's not actually going to do it.
Out of that whole fucking song, and that's what people are afraid of.
Yeah, people are worried about that line, saying it's misogynistic and it's sexist and stuff like that. If you guys have heard the song called Kim, which these people for some reason aren't even worried about, this entire song is telling a story about him dragging his wife in the middle of a forest and murdering her. And they don't even care. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, the logic behind this is non-existent. He literally made a song, obviously a fictional song, like it's telling a fictional story, same with "Love the Way You Lie," where it's like literally just the entire song is just descriptive lines of like how he killed his wife in the forest. And people aren't worried about that. People aren't worried about anything else.
Fuck. Dude, song Rap God, he's fucking hating on everybody.
Yeah, and he's not homophobic. He just uses faggot in his lyrics.
Because it was the fucking 90s. People didn't give a fuck back then.
There was no Gen Z in the 90s. Or at least there was, but they were infants. They were babies. No one gave a fuck back then. People just, you know what, in the 90s, people just enjoyed things. People just, like, heard a song that sounds good, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna listen to this. They didn't, like, dissect each line and be like, oh, this is misogynistic, so that means I just can't enjoy this entire person's discography anymore, and they can't be successful anymore because of this one line.
It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Real Slim Shady, dude. That was a fucked up song.
Yeah. That was a good song too. I enjoyed a lot of Eminem
I like that song. I fucking every once in a while when I'm at work, I'll be like, Real Slim Shady, because I'll be bored.
Yeah. But I grew up, at least in middle school, off, or maybe even elementary school, off of Eminem. Like, he was like the first rapper I listened to. I don't really listen to him now because he's definitely released like a few songs here and there that have been good recently, like Venom,
Godzilla.
Godzilla, that kind of thing. But like, as far as like albums go, he's kind of downgraded a lot since like the 2000s.
Think of how much fucking money he's made. He doesn't even make songs anymore.
Yeah, I don't feel like he cares as much, and it is hard. He's made in between like 200, 300, 400 songs, and eventually you kind of are gonna run out of bars if you've been, making so many for that long.
You're gonna run out of shit to talk about. It's a life, and you talk about it constantly. You're gonna run out of shit to talk about.
Call me a hypocrite, but we should cancel culture.
Yeah, that'd be nice. We could talk about how they're canceling Dr. Seuss. Because the thing with Dr. Seuss, I do admit some of the books that I did see, like when people were, some of them were pretty messed up, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't think those.
They were written in like the 50s, dude.
Yeah, they were written. I could be wrong about this. I don't think it's necessarily the product of someone being a bad person, but more so someone being like less educated, because it was more that was a lot more common back then. Yeah. I definitely don't think that should be supported or sold anywhere, obviously, but it's just the way people are kind of looking about it is a bit weird.
The man is dead. What is the point of canceling him?
If there was nobody fighting cancel culture, if there was nothing going against cancel culture, Johnny Depp would still be fired right now. Johnny Depp would still... If people weren't fighting against cancel culture's bullshit, Johnny Depp would still be canceled, because it came to more of like the meme pages and meme culture and other people, some millennials, reaching into the further evidence of it and figuring out what was actually going on. And I've been canceled before. I know what it's like, man. But there are definitely people who do legitimately bad things. It's never a directly bad thing. It's never like somebody directly discriminating somebody, or not never, but it usually isn't something that directly affects anybody, that directly discriminates anybody. For example, like when people canceled, I talked about this a lot already, when people canceled Blind Playthrough, what does that do to benefit anything in the world? That doesn't discriminate anybody, that doesn't make fun of anybody. It's just a term that people use that has never been meant in any way towards blind people. But they canceled it.
I remember.
Because it makes people feel better about themselves.
Yeah, it makes people feel better about themselves that I changed this dictionary definition of a word, so now I get to feel better about myself because I just rid the world of this. You're not making the world a better place by changing the dictionary about something that doesn't even matter. Blind Playthrough is never going to affect anything. And it not being anywhere is not really going to affect anything either. So you may say it's not big of a deal, but people only have a little bit of social and political capital, right? If a politician does something really dumb, like banning Blind Playthrough, people are not going to really trust them that much or take them very seriously. So you only have like this little amount of respect or capital to do things politically before people are saying, wow, these people are fucking insane. Like when the left cancels Blind Playthrough, the people on the right are going to look at them and go, we can't listen to these people, they're fucking insane. They just canceled Blind Playthrough for no reason. They're making us look fucking insane because they're changing the dictionary.
It's because you know other countries look at us and like see what the left is doing and be like, dude, wow, they're fucked up. Yeah, like they need help. From an outside perspective, it is probably so hard for people to be open-minded towards the left because of some of the things they do. I'm more democratic. Yeah, but I'm like when I look at the far left, I just feminism is cool, but like I'm not saying anything bad about feminism. I'm talking about the people that go down the street wearing fucking vagina hats. The radical feminism, the irrational feminism. That all men need to die. The kill all men shit. That's what I'm talking about. That's the type of shit I think about when I think of the far left, and it sucks.
I feel like people getting canceled nowadays is not gonna affect anything. It's not gonna help no one. Yeah, it's gonna make everything even worse. Like, come on.
Yeah, what was the character from Looney Tunes? Pepe de Lou. Pepe
Le Pew.
Yeah. Skunk. He hit on. Okay, so this is what happened. He hit on girls. He was a French pervert. That was his thing. Yeah, like, he hit on girls. He hit on girls in Looney Tunes, and it was apparently like non-consensual. And I haven't seen the episodes because I didn't really watch Looney Tunes that much. But apparently, what he did is he like went up to girls, he like touched them on the face and like was hitting on them and stuff. And obviously, it is a cartoon. Wait. It's an unrealistic cartoon.
I watched most of his cartoons, of course. I mean, it's a cartoon. Yeah. What in the heck?
It's a cartoon.
Chuck Jones is not gonna be getting canceled because he's already dead.
I saw a post, right? I saw a post that said that the Pepe Le Pew or whatever his name is, that Pepe Le Pew, that the episodes with him in it were perpetuating rape culture. That is like saying that Swiper the Fox is encouraging kids to hijack cars. That's like saying is it Swiper the Fox? Yeah, it's Swiper. So, it's like saying Swiper the Swiper is encouraging people to go out in the street and commit grand theft auto. Kids are not going to look at a cartoon and be like, I'm going to go do that. That's not how it works. Like
the episode you're talking about is I actually have it on DVDs from when I was a little kid. Oh. What it was he was hitting on the cat and because he thought she was really hot, so he's like, oh, Mosheri, da da da. And at the end of the episode, she had fallen into a wine barrel, gotten so drunk, and then tried to get with him, and he's like, no, he's like, it's not consensual, you're drunk, no.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that like I support these things, but I'm just saying how ridiculous it is that people are going to such lengths and such like absurd points of view to try to cancel it. Like they literally the people who are making the new Space Jam movie, they removed his character entirely. I don't think necessarily that like more people are getting offended. They definitely are, but not like the main thing is just people have access to the internet now. So these people are like going across the internet, like spreading their opinions. One singular,
which is fine. We get it. You're welcome to your own opinion.
Yeah.
But when you take it this far to get a cartoon taken off air because it hurt your feelings, that's ridiculous.
Dude, yeah. So having your own opinion about the cartoon, saying, "Oh, this makes me uncomfortable. This, you know, I don't like this scene because it might remind me of something."
It's called stop watching.
Well, yeah. Well, stop watching. Like first of all, you know, Aunt Jemima the syrup.
Yeah, dude. So I want to talk about this. So at work, so I'm a cashier, so I have to deal with all the products. People will buy Aunt Jemima stuff, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll see the name, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Fucking the other day, I looked down. Fucking Aunt Jemima's off the box and off the label.
Yeah, it's completely called something else now, too. Okay, so now, instead of saying Aunt Jemima, it just says Pearl Milling Company, and it has a different logo. Hypothetically, let's say that, like, these old bottles back from, like, the 1800s or 1900s, whatever it was, let's say they were racist, right? They obviously aren't using those bottles anymore, and the ones they're using now, when you purge those bottles from the world, when you
do you make yourself feel better? Is that is that what it is? You gotta make yourself feel better.
When you take those bottles off of shelves, how does that change the world in a significant way to the point where things are better? Is that it's like today, it's like these people are like, I want to stop racism, I want to stop homophobia, I want to stop sexism. That's fucking great. If you want to ban. Not ban, you can't ban racism, but like if you want to make an effort to stop racism, that's fine. Maybe instead of banning a syrup logo that offends you and it hurts your feelings, maybe you could actually go to lengths to stop actual racism. People actually being discriminated. Just a thought. Instead of saying, oh my God, you know what? These are my priorities, right? So there's like actual racism going on around in the world. There's like actual parts of the world where like certain races are discriminated against. Certain races can't even vote. Certain races.
Look how fucking Pakistan and Arabia, dude. They fucking hated each other.
So certain races don't even have freedom of speech. There's certain places in the world where all this shit is just to shit. Instead of stopping racism in the U.S. or not even in the U.S., just in the world in general, that is your priority, to change the logo and the name of a syrup bottle. Does the logo and the name on the syrup bottle change the recipe of the syrup or the taste of the syrup or the health of the syrup or anything about the syrup? It's going that no matter what logo or name is on the syrup, it is still going to go down your throat, through your stomach, and out your shit crack, and nothing's going to change. That's just how nothing's going to change about the casing of the bottle. It's going to end up, the bottle's going to end up in a landfill no matter what. And it's going to be recycled most likely if you put it in the right bin. I don't get what the point is. I don't get what the point is putting so much effort into harassing an enterprise to change their syrup logo and name rather than actually doing something significant that changes the world in a good way. Like, there's actual racism in the world. Like, there are actual things.
Still fucking exists.
Yeah, there are actual things that directly discriminate people and directly affect people's lives. Like minorities' lives, I mean. And people but cancel culture, they don't want to go to the extreme lengths that you have to go to end actual racism. They don't want to do any they don't want to go to an actual effort to have a passion to stop racism. They just want to sit behind their phone, repost something on Instagram about something that doesn't matter and doesn't change anything. There was the other one
because it saves everyone's feelings. No one has to actually try and put effort in.
There was Uncle Ben or whatever that was the rice, I think.
Bro, Uncle Ben was badass. Don't be hating Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben has some good ass rice.
Yeah, that fucking rice was good as fuck.
So good, man.
That rice was good as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. And
I loved the wild rice one.
Yeah, they did the same thing to that as well. And this whole thing with like this whole kill all men thing is just. It is so hard to take feminism seriously nowadays. Because
how about that? We don't need men to procreate anymore. we can just use our own bone.
Yeah, so for
kids, it's like, okay, have a fucking weird kid. Go ahead.
So,
okay.
Firstly, bone marrow babies, having a bone marrow baby, the likelihood that the bone marrow baby even survives through birth is like below 1%. And after that, the likelihood that it survives like another 2 to 3 weeks is also below 1%. So, and the likelihood of it, and if it survives after that, it's still going to be like extremely deformed. It's like having an incest baby, but like even less likely that it survives.
It's the fact that knowing that the child won't be normal, knowing that it's going to have problems, knowing it's that's not going to be right, people want to be selfish and not take that human's life into consideration, thinking this is a fucked up thing to do to a human being. They're going to grow up not normal, not knowing what it's like to fucking just be normal, like not. And don't get me wrong, bullying is still around. I don't care what anyone says. That shit's still around, no matter what. But it's that whole mindset of selfish reasons behind it. Like, you got to prove something. It's like, why do you want to ruin someone's life? Don't get me wrong. They don't know the difference. They wouldn't know. But still, like, why would you want to put someone through that?
Yeah, the thing is, like, so they say kill all men. So let's picture what the world would be like if that were the case. So if we did hypothetically kill all men, so let's take a look at the military. Like 80 to 90% of the military wouldn't be there, so we'd have a very weak military. Well, everyone would have a weak military because there would just not be very many people in it. We wouldn't have electricity because 90% of electrical workers are men. I mean, I could go on for. It's the same with women. It's the exact same with women. If we killed all women hypothetically, there would be a severe health and medical crisis because of the amount of nurses that would not be there anymore. We shouldn't kill.
No, there's women doctors, but
yeah,
there's a majority of men doctors.
We shouldn't kill all of anybody. We shouldn't kill all of anybody. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
no one is better than no one.
If we killed any gender, all of any gender, or any race, or any minority of anything, the economy would collapse so intensively that it would be impossible to come back from. This is why it's so hard to take feminism seriously, because feminism isn't pushing for equal rights. If feminism pushed for...
When it is equal rights, it's like, I can't do that because I'm a woman.
Well, as far as equal rights goes, they've already achieved their goal.
I mean, well, like equal treatment, like.
Oh yeah, equal treatment, definitely. I support that. I support receiving equal treatment. But as far as equal rights go, they've already achieved that. As far as if you look at the Constitution, if you look at the Bill of Rights, if you look at everything, men and women have the exact same set of rights. There is no wage gap, because yes, if you look at the average amount that a man is paid and the average amount that a woman is paid, regardless of outside influences, yes, males just by average get paid higher. But that is completely irrelevant. That is just because males by average pick higher paying jobs. So if you have...
Think of it this way. Who's working harder? Now, I'm not saying women don't work hard.
Yeah.
All right, let's take it in construction, okay? Who's lifting more fucking concrete? Who's doing more lumber? Who's doing more of the work and earning more of the pay?
Yeah. And
don't get me wrong, there are some women that are stronger than me. I'll admit it. There's some fucking big women out there that could fuck me up.
Same. People keep talking about the wage gap, where yes, the average male does get paid more than the average female, but that's completely irrelevant, because if you have a man and a woman who are working in the exact same organization, in the exact same position, they are going to get paid exactly the same, unless I think there are ways in some positions where somebody gets a raise for like excelling at their position, doing a good job. But as far as like, if two people are in the same organization, in the same job, in the same position, they're going to get paid the same. If they're not, that's most likely against the law, and there are laws to protect that. There's a reason that when you apply for a job, that there is a document that states that the person who's hiring you cannot discriminate you based on your gender, regardless of the job that it is. There are laws in place. This isn't like an economical thing, where like a woman would be discriminated. If a woman's discriminated, it's not an economical thing. If a woman is not hired because she is a woman, I mean, if somebody is not hired because of their gender, it's not because of an economy or a government or this big fucking conspiracy against them. It is based on a personal level. The person hiring you. There might be a sexist boss. That's pretty common. There are sexist bosses.
Oh yeah.
It's on a personal level. It's not this big conspiracy against women because you didn't get hired.
And there are those people who are like, I didn't get hired because I was a woman. No, you didn't get hired because the person didn't believe that you could stand up to the qualifications of the job.
A manager, let's take McDonald's. Okay, if you work at McDonald's, so the manager of McDonald's, like the branch manager of McDonald's, like your boss, is going to, let's say he's a man, and he gets paid $30 an hour. I don't know how much they get paid. I'm just giving you an example. Let's say the manager gets paid $30 an hour, and a female who's just a standard cook, like or a worker, maybe like a somebody who works drive-through person. So just a female who's a worker in the drive-through. She gets paid $13 an hour. I heard an argument recently that that's an example of a wage gap. So you're telling me that somebody of a lower position is supposed to get paid as somebody in the higher... Basically, their argument, from what my understanding was, their argument was that somebody of a lower position should be paid as much as their boss is paid because they're a woman or something. Like, I started this argument. I'm like, it's not because of your gender. It's because of the position in the business that you are in and the business you work for. Like, there could definitely be like a situation where, let's say you're a factory worker at Coke, and then there's another factory worker at Pepsi. You have the exact same position, but like Pepsi might pay $1 more. It has nothing to do with gender. The amount you're paid, at least in the United States, will most likely never be because of your gender. And if it is, it's because of one singular person's personal issue, like a boss being sexist, which is pretty... It's not... I wouldn't say it's uncommon. I wouldn't say it's like extraordinarily rare, but it is uncommon. And it's also illegal. There are laws against this that can protect people. When I said earlier is that women do still have equal rights, that is in the U.S. There are still areas of the world where women don't have equal rights. There are places of the world where they can't even show their hair. There are places of the world where they can't. There's no freedom of speech. They can't vote. They can't do X, Y, and Z. They have to consult their husband in order to buy something, stuff like that. That is stuff that should be activized upon. That's stuff that should be acted on and changed. Being more left, like being more of a democratic person, has been so...
Yeah, just
so it's been such like an on the fence thing for me lately, because the things the left have done lately have been so terrible. Like when people voted Biden in, which I supported Biden being moved into office, but the shit he's done while he's in office have been terrible.
To the point where you're like, oh fuck, why, what's going on?
Like he got voted into office, and he's like, we're gonna end the wars in, I think, Iraq or something. And what did he do? He fucking bombed them. He just bombed them. Like you're making the left look so bad. And maybe it is bad. Maybe I'm just delusional. Like, I agree with a lot of the leftist viewpoints and standpoints and stuff, but not the shit that they've been doing lately. Spreading fake news, cancel culture, feminazis, all this shit is all the product of far, far, far leftism. And it sucks.
This is definitely the most...
I'm a person who pushes for racial equality. I'm a person who, well, not just racial equality, just equality all across the board. I think that there definitely is a significant amount of unfair treatment towards women in the U.S. There's obviously should still be a push for equal treatment. But as far as equal rights go, they basically met their goal. There's never going to be equal treatment in between two groups. It's impossible.
It sucks that how the Asian community is getting more hated.
I hate to break it to people, but there will never be two groups of people who treat each other equally. There will always be a person or a group of people who is just against them for no reason. Like, there's always going to be bad people. There's always going to be uneducated people. There's just no way against that. There's never going to be a reality where...
And with that, there's also the people that think of just because the way you look, that's what you believe.
Yeah,
that's just
like people looking at me because like I drive a truck, I wear boots, I'm not super religious, but I kind of am. Everyone naturally thinks, oh, he's fucking racist. He doesn't like black people. He doesn't like Mexicans, which is completely untrue.
Yeah,
I don't judge people based off the color of their skin. I base off their character.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at our friend group, dude. We have we have a Republican dude We have a fucking hick that has a black friend, a Pakistani friend. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and we're not looking for like points or anything. We're just trying to prove the point. Like, just because somebody looks a certain way doesn't mean they have like a certain set of views or anything. Or if they do, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a bad person. Like a lot of people, talked to a lot of people who are like more democratic, and they have literally told me that like, legitimately, like I've told them like, you know, there's a possibility, because they say like, there can never be a right or Republican person that's a good person. There can never be a Republican who isn't racist. There can never be, like, all the right people are just scumbags, which there definitely are some, but the fact that that people just assume that just because somebody identifies with a certain set of viewpoints, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a bad person. That doesn't mean that, like, if something is wrong with them, it doesn't necessarily mean something's wrong with them. But if something is wrong with them, it doesn't mean that they're a bad person. They could be uneducated. They could just be a stupid person, or they could just believe in a set of opinions because that's just what they believe in. There isn't necessarily something wrong with these people. And the way that the left talk about people on the right is like they're just the set of diseased people that have like mental issues. Like, there are definitely some on both sides. The people who are just insanely dumb on the far left and the far right. And there's never going to be a politician or a political group that identifies with every single belief you have. There's always going to be some flaw with a political group, something you disagree with. It's just a matter of who you agree the most with, who you feel the most connected to, I guess, inside, like which person you identify with the most. And I don't identify with shit right now, because as far as Biden's gone, he's done a shitty job so far. I mean, obviously he's like 1% through his term, so I can't just judge him right off the bat, but as far as I've seen, I don't really identify with anything. I'm just a more left person.
With politics, you gotta remember, it's all about fucking sweet talking to everybody.
Yeah, you make them think you're gonna do a bunch of this shit, and then you just sit on your ass when you get your goal. You
Which is
persuade people.
Because he fucking sweet talked Biden. He sweet talked so many fucking people, and his biggest thing was because he wasn't Trump. It's because he was something else. People wanted Trump out of office so badly. Yeah. They didn't even care. They didn't really want to look and see if he could back it up.
The biggest,
they just want someone else out.
Yeah, the biggest reason people voted for Biden is because he wasn't Trump. I agree, and that's part of the reason why I supported him, honestly. But
yeah, and also like this, I remember
so they can learn from him.
One of PewDiePie's videos got removed.
Yeah, so PewDiePie is an excellent example of somebody who did something wrong, did something immoral on accident, got criticized for it, and then moved on. So PewDiePie is an excellent example, right? So PewDiePie, when he was on stream, he got mad during a video game and he accidentally said the N-word. PewDiePie is not a racist person. PewDiePie, from what I have seen, is a good person. I don't like PewDiePie. Like, yeah. I don't watch his shit, but he said some shit that was bad. That was some bad shit. That's some shit that I would never support.
I remember, like, he did a music video, not the bitch lasagna, but it was like this diss track on Coco Melon.
Yeah, he did a diss track too.
But even though he said it's a joke.
He did this thing. He said the N-word on stream on accident, and obviously it's on stream, right? So you have to look at the difference between saying something on stream and in a YouTube video. When you're on stream, you are in the moment. You can't sit down and script the things you say and cut out the bad parts and cut out things that maybe shouldn't be in the video. When you're on stream, if you say something, there's no going back. You can delete the stream, but there have been millions of people. there have been millions of people watching something. Yeah, cough Johnny, who said a certain thing once on stream.
I have no clue what you're talking about. I don't
know. Yeah, and Patrice, who exposed somebody's phone number and address on stream that we had to cut out. Luckily, we have like no viewers, so nobody saw it. But
now you have to mention that, right?
So think about PewDiePie. So the difference between him being on stream, if he was filming a YouTube video that he could pre-record, edit, and ship out onto YouTube, he would never have said that. because he's not a malicious or hateful or racist person. It's just something that slipped out of his mouth. So that is definitely something that I think was wrong of him, was stupid of him, was unjustified, and was just wrong of him. But that doesn't determine who he is as a person, right? So people did criticize him for this specific thing that he did. And people, I don't know if he was punished or not necessarily, but he moved on from it. He apologized for it.
He lost a shit ton of subscribers.
He lost some subscribers. And now he's perfectly fine. Whereas in other cases, you have people who get canceled for shit like this, who aren't bad people. They just make a bad decision, and people judge their entire personality based off of it.
I gotta go. Hickey's out. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks.